You said, in a world where creators rise and fall every single day, one name sits at the very top of the internet, MrBeast, the kid who turned YouTube into his life's mission and built an empire from pure obsession and grit before the billion-view videos, before the massive challenges, before the giveaways that shocked the world. There was just Jimmy Donaldson, a quiet teenager, sitting in his bedroom in 2012, uploading videos to a channel almost nobody was watching and refusing to quit while other kids were out living normal lives. He was studying the platform, analyzing every creator he could find, breaking down what made videos blow up and promising himself that one day, he'd become the biggest YouTuber in the world. Years of trial, failure, tiny numbers, late nights, endless experiments, and zero guarantees that any of it would work. But instead of burning out, he doubled down, and that relentless grind became the spark that changed everything. Fast forward to 2026, and that same kid now holds the crown as the most subscribed creator in YouTube history. Over 450 million subscribers, a global brand, businesses, philanthropy, entertainment, influence, on a level no creator had ever reached before. This is not just a story of a YouTuber. This is the story of a teenager who bet everything on a dream and actually pulled it off. This is the rise of MrBeast. In 2012, the most powerful man on the internet was just a kid in North Carolina named Jimmy. He wasn't a prodigy. He wasn't a celebrity's son, and his first videos, mostly Minecraft and Call of Duty clips, were, by his own admission, terrible. But while other kids were playing games for fun, Jimmy Donaldson was treating YouTube like a high-stakes laboratory. This was the era of the algorithm scientist. Jimmy spent his teenage years locked in his bedroom, obsessed with a single question: why does a video go viral? He formed a digital circle with a few like-minded creators, spending 10 to 15 hours a day on Skype calls. They didn't talk about school or their futures. They talked about the psychology of a thumbnail, the retention rate of a transition, and the exact second a viewer decides to click away. By 2015, he found a small spark of momentum with his worst intro series. It earned him 30,000 subscribers, but it wasn't enough to satisfy his mother, who demanded he take a traditional path. Jimmy enrolled in community college to appease her, but his mind was elsewhere. He spent every lecture in the back of the room, scripting videos and analyzing data. After just 2 weeks, he stopped going entirely. When he finally confessed to his mother that he was dropping out to pursue YouTube full-time, she gave him an ultimatum: move out and make it work, or give up the dream. Jimmy chose the move, living on a shoestring budget in a small apartment. He doubled down on his obsession. He wasn't looking for a job or a hobby. He was looking for a breakthrough. He realized that if he wanted to be the biggest creator on earth, he had to be willing to do the things no one else would. He needed to prove his dedication through sheer, undeniable effort. In early 2017, he sat down in a chair, hit record, and began to count. He didn't stop for 40 hours. That video didn't just go viral. It signaled the birth of a new era. The kid in the bedroom was gone. MrBeast had arrived. January 2017, Jimmy Donaldson spends 40 hours in a chair counting to 100,000. It is a grueling, mind-numbing performance that most people would call a waste of time. But for Jimmy, it was a proof of concept. He realized that if he was willing to do what no one else would, the internet would give him what no one else had: total, undivided attention. With that realization, the solo scientist became a director. He brought in his childhood friends Chandler, Chris, and later Carl, turning his channel into a high-stakes buddy comedy. The challenges shifted from endurance to spectacle: last to leave the circle, last to remove hand from Lamborghini, and surviving 24 hours in a desert. But as the views skyrocketed, Jimmy faced a new problem. To make bigger videos, he needed more money than YouTube ad revenue could provide. When his first major brand deal offered him $5,000, he did something unthinkable. He told them he wanted $10,000 not for himself, but to give away. He walked up to a homeless man and handed him the entire bag of cash. That single moment created the virtuous cycle that would define his career. Spend every cent to make a great video, use the views to get more money, and then spend every cent of that money to make the next video even bigger. By 2019, Jimmy reached the 20 million subscriber milestone. To celebrate, he didn't just throw a party. He launched Team Trees, a massive collaborative effort to plant 20 million trees. For the first time, he wasn't just a YouTuber. He was a global organizer, moving millions of dollars and rallying hundreds of other creators for a single cause. The breakthrough was complete. MrBeast was no longer just a name on a screen. He was a brand, a philanthropist, and the architect of a new kind of entertainment that the world was only just beginning to understand. By 2021, the world knew who MrBeast was, but they didn't realize how big the beast could actually get. Jimmy was no longer competing with other YouTubers. He was competing with Hollywood. The turning point came with the recreation of Squid Game. Jimmy spent $3.5 million to build a real-life version of the Netflix set, condensed the entire series into 25 minutes, and uploaded it for free. It didn't just go viral, it broke the internet. It proved that a creator with the YouTube budget could outpace and outperform a global television studio. But Jimmy's vision went beyond high-stakes sets. He realized that to become the biggest on the planet, he had to stop speaking only to the English-speaking world. He began dubbing his videos into Spanish, Portuguese, Hindi, and dozens of other languages, using local voice actors to make the content feel native to every country. Overnight, his audience grew from hundreds of millions to billions. As his subscriber count surged, he launched a massive war on the business world. He introduced Beast Burger and Feastables, leveraging his massive reach to put chocolate bars and burgers in every grocery store in America. He wasn't just selling a product, he was selling an experience. On June 2, 2024, the inevitable happened. After a years-long climb, MrBeast officially overtook T-Series to become the most subscribed YouTube channel in history. He had won the YouTube war, but even with the crown, he didn't slow down. He leveraged his power to sign a $100 million deal with Amazon Prime for Beast Games, the largest reality competition in history. He was taking the YouTube formula and injecting it into the mainstream media's veins. By the end of 2024, Jimmy Donaldson had moved past the creator label. He had built a self-sustaining empire where every view funded a house for someone in need, and every chocolate bar sold funded the next massive stunt. He had become a global icon of the digital age. But the scale of 2026 was something even he couldn't have predicted in his bedroom 10 years earlier. By early 2026, the numbers have become almost impossible to comprehend. Jimmy Donaldson isn't just a YouTuber anymore. He is a digital sovereign. With 458 million subscribers on his main channel alone, his audience is now larger than the populations of the United States, the United Kingdom, and Canada combined. But with this level of power comes a new kind of gravity. 2025 was a year of reckoning. After a decade of hyper-optimized, high-energy content, Jimmy did something unexpected. He shifted. He admitted that the obsession with retention had started to hollow out the storytelling. In a move that shocked the industry, he pivoted his entire production philosophy toward ultra-grind mode, longer, more cinematic videos that favor emotional depth over pure spectacle. In January 2026, the Beast Industries empire is valued at a staggering $5 billion. His personal wealth, estimated at over $2 billion, is mostly tied up in a web of companies that look more like a modern conglomerate than a creator's merch store. From Feastables dominating the global snack market to the expansion of his own distribution networks, he is systematically rebuilding the media economy in his own image. His influence has now fully jumped the fence into the mainstream. Beast Games on Amazon Prime has officially become the largest reality competition in history, proving that the YouTube formula works even better on the big screen. Meanwhile, Beast philanthropy has evolved from viral stunts to massive, structural change, building entire villages and providing medical care to millions across the globe. Standing at the peak of 2026, Jimmy Donaldson has achieved the impossible. He proved that a kid from North Carolina with a webcam could outbuild Hollywood, outspend television networks, and out-influence global corporations. He didn't just win the game of YouTube, he finished it. Now, as the most subscribed human being to ever live at 458 million, he faces his final and most difficult challenge, deciding what to do with a world that is finally, truly, paying attention.